Hello students. Let's go back to our unit, which is Unit 5. Now in the unit that we have here, which is Do You Really Need It? We talked about advertisements and about shopping. Now in the last lesson we had the vocabulary part. Now in the vocabulary part we learned many words that we have here. Now we had the instructions on page number 73. You will see these words in the reading on pages 60 and 61. Match the words with their meanings. So basically we had our exercise here. Now you can see that we have here the words. We have 6 words and we discussed them. We classified the words and also we related to other meanings. Now we're going to just pass by them and revise. You can see that we have here a shelf. The shelf here is full of the words that we have studied before. Now we're going to see what is the first one that we have here. So just imagine with me that we are going to shop. We are going to do our shopping. Now the first shopping that we're going to do is about this picture here. Do you remember when we talked about this man? Now we have here this man. We can say that he is, just start from the first shelf here. Now you can see that we have here the word consumer. This is the basic word that we have. And related to it, we have customer, we have buying, things and services. Now, to shop again, we have another cart for us. The second picture, if you can recall, now when we talked about the wire here and the uncovered wire here, and what does it cause? Also, we had another picture of these advertisements, and they are also uncovered here. Now here, we can say that the basic word that we're going to shop for is exposed. We have also uncovered, unprotected, left, and we have the third word. You can see that there are many designs here. Now these designs here are what we call logo. Now we can relate also with logo. You can see the words here that we have the word, design, product, business, and symbol. Now moving on with our shopping, we can see that we have here also another cart waiting for us. Now we have here these socks and the shoes. Do you remember when we said that if we see someone wearing this kind of clothing here or the different socks that we can see here, now there is a word. You can see the word here. Now we can see in the second shelf that we have here the word outlandish. And very close to the word outlandish, we have here weird. We have also unexpected, and we can also add the word strange. Now moving on with our shopping, we have also another cart for us. We have a word, or the picture here. Now do you remember when we said that this here, the shape, now she is moving, and she is acting in a very, what kind of word do we have here? We can see she is acting very spontaneously. And with spontaneous, we can add also the word freely. And we have here also without planning. Now this leaves us with the last 2 words that we have here. Now you can see that we have here this picture. Do you remember the fish? Now we said that the orange fish is different in color and also different in the way or the direction that it is moving. So here, this fish is unconventional, and we can also say different. So these are the words that we studied in the vocabulary building lesson, and we also matched. We also showed the keyword that we have here in each part and what can help us to know the answer more. Now we are going to move on. We are going to move from the market, and we are going to go to a bookstore, as you can see here. Now in the bookstore, of course, we are going to see what kind of books do we have here. Now there is a book that is called Ads Everywhere. We are going to see what is the content that we have here in this title, which is Ads Everywhere. So we're going to move on with our part here. Now do you remember that I asked you to see or think about this question in the last lesson? We have here, make a list of all the places you see ads in your everyday life. How many ads do you think you are exposed to in an average day? Now, do you remember when we talked about the word exposed? We said that we have here exposed means that something is uncovered, but actually exposed can be used even talking about you or about us in general. So we are saying that we are exposed. We have here, we are exposed to different ads. We can see these ads in different places, as you can see here. And of course the basic part here in our everyday life, which is social media. So we are going to talk about ads everywhere. And we have here the subtitle, Do You Buy It?, on pages 74 and 75, which is going to be our reading lesson. Now, moving on, we have here our objectives. Now we have the first objective, to list types and places where advertisements are used. Number 2, to scan for information and words. Number 3, to answer questions. And number 4, to enumerate the main ideas in the passage. So we are going to move on with our lesson here. We have here ads everywhere. Do you buy it? Now, there is a question in the book. Why is buy in quotation marks? You can see, do you buy it? Now, there are quotation marks here between, or we have here buy, which is in between quotation marks here. So we're going to see that we have here, the word buy here can have two meanings. So it can either mean to purchase something, like what we know, or if I say that you can see an ad, do you buy it? Which means here to believe or accept. So when we have the word or the verb buy can have two meanings. We can say that it either means to purchase something or it means to believe or accept something. So when you see an advertisement, do you buy it? Do you believe what they are advertising for or not? Now, do you buy products that you see advertisements for? Do you accept the practice of being exposed to advertisements everywhere? Now, when you think about it, we are exposed to advertisements every day. You can see them everywhere. So either if you are at home staying or you are outside, you can see a lot of advertisements. So do you buy them? Do you believe and accept? Do you go and actually purchase these advertisements or these products or not? So we are going to move on with our reading. Now, how many paragraphs are there? You can see in our passage, the reading passage, that we have 7 paragraphs. These 7 paragraphs, we are going to know what is each paragraph about and what will each paragraph tell us. So we are going to go by them one by one. These 7 paragraphs, we are going to see what is it about. So we want the main topic and also if there is a kind of question or information that we want. So we're going to move on with our lesson here. We are also going to see something that might be actually unbelievable as a fact. Now we're going to start with paragraph number 1. We have on paragraph number 1. Now, as I told you, you are going to see what is the main idea here, what is the main topic here in the paragraph. Now you can find the main idea. It can be at the very beginning or it can be even at the end. We have also the question, where can we find advertisements? So start searching. We have the question, where can we find advertisements? And we have here time's up. Now, as a main idea here, we can see at the very beginning, it is virtually impossible to go through the day without seeing advertisements. And we can also complete here, according to a recent study, the average person is exposed to between 400 and 600 advertisements each day. So note that we have here the word exposed, which was mentioned in the vocabulary building. We have here the new word. And just imagine that you are exposed to 400 to 600 advertisements every day. So the topic here is the amount of advertisements people see in a day. And we have the question, which is, where can we find advertisements? We are going to look for places. So you can see very clearly that we have here TV, email, magazines, buses, and also on billboards. So do you know what are billboards? We have here, this is a type of billboard here. You can see that this is a billboard. Moving on, there are also other places we can see online, and we have here on buildings. So these are different places where we can see advertisements. And just to add here some fact that we can see here, now the fact says by the time we are 60, we will have been exposed to 40 to 50 million advertisements. So just imagine the number of advertisements that you have seen. Now moving on with our second paragraph, we have paragraph number 2. We are going to do the same thing. We want to look for the main idea that we have here, and also you have the question, why do people give less attention to one form of media? Time's up. So we have here the main idea. If you can see from the very beginning, we have here advertisements were usually designed to reach people in their homes through traditional approaches. So we are going to go back to the past and think about advertisements and commercials in the past. How were they viewed, or how were they introduced to the viewer? Also, we can add that advertisers have been forced to find new ways of reaching the consumer. So just connecting between the past, we are going to think about the present and also the future, and how are advertisers thinking about new methods and ways to approach the consumer. So you can see here that we do have the word consumer, which is one of our vocabulary building words. The main idea that we have here, number 2, how advertisements reach people in general, either in the past, the present, or the future. Now going back to the question that we have here, why do people give less attention to one form of media? Now you can see here, there is something about their full attention that is mentioned in the middle. So we're going to read from the very start of the sentence. These days, people are less likely to give one form of media their full attention. For example, even if someone is watching TV, they are also often using the internet at the same time. Advertisers need the consumer's attention in order, so let's just go back, in order to promote their products. So we can see here that this is something that is typical to happen, that we watch TV and at the same time we are using our phones, we are reading, we are searching through social media. So we can see that we are doing two things at the same time. So that's why attracting attention is very difficult. Now moving on with paragraph number 3, we can see in paragraph number 3 that we have here also, there is a main idea that we want, and we have here the question. What are the benefits some get from advertisement? So you are going to search for something about benefits here. So let's start. You have a long paragraph here. You can just search for the word benefit to help you. Time's up. So we are going to see what is the main idea that we have. And you can see from the very start that we have the word unconventional, which is one of the words that we passed through the vocabulary building. So we are going to underline here, one unconventional place advertisements are popping up is in doctor's office. So here the basic idea is the pop-up of advertisements in general. So we have here the third idea, unconventional place for advertisements. So we have here really something that is unusual to see an advertisement in. Now moving on to the question, what are the benefits some get from advertisement? We can see, as an example, we have here doctors' offices. We have here doctors get free products and advertisers get the consumer's attention. So we have here that it is a win-win. Everyone gets a benefit. The doctor gets free products and the advertiser gets the attention of the consumer. There is also another example you can see here in schools. Now we can see here free products such as book covers and educational posters are offered by companies so that the company can advertise on these materials. Moving on to paragraph number 4, we can see also that we have here the basic idea. Now we have here a short paragraph. You are going to do the same thing. Look for the main idea. And also we have the question, where are advertisements popping up? So we did mention something about the pop-up. You are going to see where. And time's up. Okay, so let's see the main idea that we have here. Now advertisers have found that one of the best ways to get consumer attention is to place ads in unusual places. So we have here something about placing ads in unusual places to get attention. So you can see that there is a relationship between the idea that we have here in 3 and 4, and of course, how to reach these people in number 2. So we have here the question, where are advertisements popping up? We can just see here, for example, that we have here pizza boxes, grocery carts, air sickness bags on airplanes, and even on pieces of food. So here you can see that these are just examples for places that you can see advertisements, but you don't actually expect them. Now you can see also that we have here the word logo, which is one of the vocabulary building words. Now something also to mention here before we move on, that we have here a television network recently imprinted its logo on 35 million eggs. They call the approach advertisements. So this is an interesting title for something to do just to attract people's attention. Now moving on to paragraph number 5. You are going to do the same thing. We have here the main idea, and we have the question, how can advertising get strange? Time's up. So here our main idea, as we did before, we have the first line. One of the strangest developments in advertising has been people selling advertising space on themselves. So just imagine that a person can make himself or herself an advertising space. So this is going to be the idea that we have in number 5. people sell advertising space on themselves? And going back to our question here, how can advertising get strange? We can see here, for example, and it is going to be the fact, the interesting fact that we have here at the same time. Now we can see that when a man offered his face for advertising to the highest bidder on eBay. Now what did this man do? He offered to just paint or to have the advertisement drawn on his face to attract attention. And he advertised for himself on eBay. Now moving on, we have paragraph number 6. Now paragraph number 6, you are going to do the same thing. We have here the main idea, and also there is a question, what is buzz marketing? So start. Okay, so time's up. Now, very clearly that we have here the idea is going to be the sneakiest form of advertising is called buzz marketing. So this is going to be our 6th idea in the passage. Now going back to the question, what is buzz marketing? So we know that it is the basic idea here, but we are going to see what it is. So you can find that we have here, this involves a company hiring people to create excitement about a product in exchange for free products or money. These people pretend to talk about the product spontaneously in everyday settings to people they meet in their daily lives. So here we can see that there are a lot of important facts. Now the first thing that these people, they do this for, in return, either money or they can have free products. Now, how do they create a buzz? They do not go and tell people that they are advertising or they're going to show them something. They are going to act spontaneously, very naturally, and they are going to just talk about something that they have used or they have seen. And then after that, they can convince the people around them to use the same product that they are advertising for without the other people knowing what they are doing. So this is what we have here buzz marketing, and it is a very interesting fact that we have here in the passage. Now we can also add that sometimes professional actors are even hired to pose as users of the product. So we have here something that can be even serious, that they have professional actors hired for this act. Now we have the last paragraph. We have paragraph number 7. Now, paragraph number 7, we do not have a question, but we are going to look for the basic idea that we have here. Now, you can see that we have here the word outlandish, which was also one of the words that we have in the vocabulary building. So start, just look for the main topic that we have in the paragraph. Time's up. Now, from the paragraph here, we can understand from the content that there is nothing new mentioned, which means that this is the closing paragraph or the conclusion that we have here. Now, what do we have as conclusion? Now, wherever we go, advertisements seem to follow. Now, just to complete, we have here, unless you're reading this article on a desert island, there's probably an advertisement close by, and there seems to be no limit to the lengths advertisers will go to in order to catch our attention. Now, we can also say that we have here the last idea, which is advertisements follow everywhere without any limits. Now we have here the complete ideas that we have here. You can see from the very start that the amount of advertisements people see in a day, just to imagine or just to think about what are they seeing around them. After that, we move to the idea about how advertisements reach people today. Now we connected between the past, the present, and the future. We also have something about unconventional place for advertisement or places in general. We have placing ads in usual places to get attention. People sell advertising space on themselves, and we have here buzz marketing. Now you can see that we have a lot of details here about different methods or different ways that are used for advertising. And we closed up with the last part that we have here, which is advertisements follow everywhere without any limits. So we have here the ideas completely for the reading passage that we have in the book. You do have your questions. Now we have here the after reading questions in the book. How many advertisements is the average person exposed to every day? Number 2, what are traditional advertising approaches? Number 3, what does the author of the article consider to be one of the strangest developments in advertising? And we have number 4, what does the author consider to be the sneakiest form of advertising? Now I'm going to give you these questions as an assignment for you. You are going to go back, just read the passage, relate to the details that we mentioned in the lesson, and answer the questions that we have here, which we will, inshallah, answer in our next lesson. So as a close-up for our lesson here, you can see that we explored the idea about advertising and the different ways that we have here. We listed different methods and types or ways that people advertise. We searched for answers for different questions, and at the end, we evaluated the whole idea of advertising, and we put them into points here as we did in our graph. So this is our reading lesson for the day. Now do your assignment, be ready, and we'll complete in the next lesson, inshallah.